Hi, I'm Francesca and this is Law of Attraction Changed My Life. So a couple of weeks ago I put a picture on my Instagram and asked you guys if you had any ideas of any videos that you wanted me to do. And quite a few people asked how to attract a celebrity crush. Luckily yours truly is probably a pretty good guide on this. If you'd like to reference my previous book of 2008, it's called Wag Don't Want to Be a Smart Girl's Guide to Footballers. So I have dated a lot of celebrities. This is very true. It all kind of started back when I was 21 and I started dating a footballer. I dated one or two and from there I got kind of hooked, because who doesn't love a hot rich black guy who's also quite hood? Me. I don't like posh guys. I fucking hate that shit. I'm not down for like red jeans in Chelsea, far. No. I have to say did, because I'm now married, put a ring on it. But yeah, I really liked the idea of guys that were really rich, and I still do. I love people who are rich and successful in their lives. And success and richness aren't the same thing, you know? There's like being rich in money or there's being rich in your life. And I love people who are rich in whatever sense that means to them, but they've come from a poor background and they've really had to strive. And so that is what attracted me to footballers. And also it's around like the whole 2006, 2008 wag culture, and that shit was everywhere and I was an impressionable young fool. So I dated a guy for nearly a year who was, I was just going to say, no, I've never named him. I just want to say that, I just want to put that out there. I've never ever named him. And I don't know why. Like, I wrote my entire book, like my whole thing in my book was like, do you know what? I don't need to name him. This is about all of them. I believe that it was such a, what's the word I'm looking for? Such a cult, this isn't the word I'm looking for, but it's such a culture of like using girls, and footballers were getting away with it. And I was like, you don't need to know who he is. Like, you just need to know that they're all fucking like it. And I was on like a mission, I was on a vengeance. And I wrote this book. And when I went to my publisher, he was like, look, it's fact that you've dated this guy for a year, but you can't write a book about footballers if you've just dated one guy. You need to be a bit more generic, and you need to he basically told me to go out and whore myself, which I happily did. I then, over the period of 9 months that it took me to write this book, dated probably, I'm using the term dated very loosely. I saw probably about 9 more footballers, and that would range from literally going out to tea with Emmanuel Adebayor, who plays for Chelsea. He literally used to come around my house in Camden with his minder and he'd be like, do you want to go for tea? We used to go to Gilgamesh in Camden and just like have fucking tea. He'd have like sake. And so that was pretty random. So it'd be from that to Freddie Adu, who is the youngest footballer I think to ever come from America and be professional. He took me and my friend to Monte Carlo and showed us a fucking good time for 3 days. And to everything in between. I went on dates with Pascal Chimpondra, and then I'd call up the paparazzi. I was like, look, I need a picture for the back cover of my book. Do you want to turn up at the Wilson in 10 minutes and me and Pascal? So poor Pascal, who was not used to really being paparazzi that much. I'm like, I don't know. So we're talking like a wide range of dating experiences. And when I look back on it now, I remember one particular time, I had a guy, I live above a pub. Well, I don't now, like I only live there part-time, but I live above a pub in Islington. And it's a real Arsenal area. It's a home fans only pub. So it's very football area. It's very serious, like North London derby. Tottenham hate Arsenal and vice versa. And I remember I had this guy who played for Tottenham, and he was like, I'm near your flat, shall I come round? And I was like, well, I'm going out on a date, but you can come round if you want and you can watch me get ready. I was just like so precocious about it. I was like, you can come and watch me get ready. So he literally came to my flat and I was like, I'm getting ready for a date, I'm going out. And he just sat and we chatted, and I was like, you need to leave now, because I was going out on a date in Knightsbridge with John Carew. Now I'm just going to insert a little photo of John Carew here, because he is fucking beautiful. This guy, I think he's Norwegian. By the way, I'm naming all these people because I'm not really telling you anything about them. You know, we went on a date, we did this, we did that. The guy that the book is about, I still don't think I'd ever really name, even though he's a dog, like I don't think I would. But yeah, so John Carew, absolutely beautiful, absolute gentleman. Like, we went to Mr. Chow's in Knightsbridge, And sorry, as I was looking back, like now, as a fucking 32-year-old mother who just like goes and sings nursery rhymes in the morning, I think, how did I do that? Like, how did I have a Tottenham football around my house just watching TV, and then I was like, sorry, I'm going out on a date now with John Carew. And then I just got on the tube and went and had a date with John Carew. Like, and then when the guy said to me, can you get like another 6 professional footballers that you're going to write about? I just went out and did it. And you have to remember, youngsters, there was no Twitter back then. There was, or maybe there was, but it was very primary. I wasn't really using it back then. There wasn't really Facebook. Like, you didn't just contact celebrities online. You had to be in these clubs. You had to mix in the right circles. And I just had this thing in my mind that was like, well, of course I can. Of course, why couldn't I? And it was just that that confidence of like, it wasn't even a question. You need me to date 5 more like famous footballers? Cool, I'll do it next week. I also date. I don't really like this word dated because it's so like, I don't know, but Lethal Bizzle's another one. Lethal Bizzle, loved that guy.
Remix.
Known him for a few years. I set him up on a date with someone else as well, actually. That was weird. There's 3 of us on a date. Not in the way you're thinking. I loved him as well because he was so passionate. I met him back in, this would have been like 2009. And he was quite famous, but he wasn't as famous as he is now. And he was so passionate about music. He was so passionate about writing. And again, he's one of these guys that's come from, not from nothing, but he's come from like a real working class background, council estate, and he now is so successful. And I love that. I find that so inspiring, whether it's in a friend or in somebody that I'm dating. Russell Brand is another one. When I wrote my book, around that time, I lived in Camden. So you got to remember, like back in the day, this was like the glory days. This is like Amy Winehouse, Russell Brand. This shit was just, it was a golden era. Long story short, he gave me a quote for the front cover of my book, and my publishers were like, hold the phone. What? Russell Brand has given you a quote for your book? And I was like, yeah, bitches. And God bless him, I'll put it here because I can't quite remember what it is. But he gave me a quote for my book, and I'm so grateful for that. And yeah, I just walked around like it was nothing. I could just date any celebrity that I met in London. I was just like, yeah, cool. I'm trying to think other people. I'll probably finish this and I'll remember like, I was going to say 300, but of course not that many. And I think I just had the confidence. And I think that you start small. The thing is, people often say to me, how do you manifest a celebrity with the law of attraction? How do I manifest an ex with the law of attraction? How do I manifest my soulmate with the law of attraction? Actually, that's quite hard because it's hard to define. But with an ex-boyfriend or with a celebrity, it's super easy. You just use the exact same process that you use to manifest a house, to manifest a dog. I don't know, whatever you want to manifest. A job, maybe. A job would have been more suitable for most of you than a dog. But yeah, you just use exactly the same process. So it's great if you have a starting point of already having success. So for me, the first famous footballer I ever met was Titus Bramble. Lovely guy, gambles quite a lot. But yeah, him when I was like 19 or 20 maybe. And so because that had already happened once, it's like, well, why can't it happen again? And as soon as you start to like manifesting, it's kind of a snowball effect, isn't it? The more success you see, it just snowballs until you're literally just like covered in footballers. I hope that all makes sense. I'm not too sure, it's been a little bit rambly, but I think you guys don't mind that too much, do you? I feel like I've just sat here and just told you all about my dating life when I was younger and definitely sluttier. As I said, I'm married now, all that is water under the bridge, and I'm very blessed to have a husband who's not all that jealous. He doesn't really mind, and I'm sure he won't mind me saying all this actually. He's read it all before, he's read it in the book. If you want to get that book, I don't think you can still buy it, I'm not sure, but it's called Wag Don't Want to Be a Smart Girl's Guide to Footballers. I think there's people that buy up old books and sell them on eBay for 99p because I keep meaning to buy a few because I've only got 2 copies myself. But yeah, you can most definitely manifest a celebrity. If you're trying to manifest someone, I would say actually manifesting a celebrity to your life is probably easier than trying to manifest a soulmate, because a soulmate is such a a vague concept. You don't know exactly what you want, you don't know what they look like, whereas a celebrity is a very arbitrary, a very specific thing. So yeah, 100% go for it. If anyone succeeds, let me know. And can I just say, I feel like if I had Twitter and Instagram and all this other stuff, like, that would have been so much easier. Back in my day, we didn't have that. You had to physically show up, get up, dress up, show up, and go to that club 5 nights a week. And so, make that sound like I worked in a strip. It wasn't a strip club. It was just a club, like a nightclub, like China White. Anyway, I feel like I've rambled for quite a long time now. I feel like this is a really weird segue now, but if you like this channel, I'm now doing mindful mothering on Mondays, and it will be the same old law of attraction on Friday. Please let me know down below if I've rambled way too much and you have no idea what I'm fucking talking about, and if you are shocked and appalled at my previous sluttiness. Can I just say, it's not sluttiness, men do it. Men do it, and it is not frowned upon at all, and so I shan't put myself in that category. I dated around and had a great time. I will, Derek Chisora, the boxer, that's another one. I didn't just do football, it was just, you know, it spanned across the sport, so I wasn't a sports snob. Thank you for watching. Please do subscribe if you haven't already, and go like my Instagram if you haven't already, because I'm at nearly 11,000. I feel like I'm going to spend the rest of my life saying I'm at nearly 12,000, I'm at nearly 13,000. It's at Law of Attraction changed my life, and I will see you next week. Thanks for watching. Bye.
I'll give you a weekend sunrise scoop, young lady. I'm going to scoop you like you've never been scooped before.